I want to tell you something, I was feeling stuck. It happens to all of us, right? You wake up, you have this long list of things to do, but you just can't get started. The motivation isn't there. The energy is low. I felt like I was running on a hamster wheel, doing the same things every single day but not really moving forward. I knew I needed a change, a push, something to shake things up. I talk about the 5-second rule all the time, that moment of courage to act. But even I have days where that feels like a heavy lift, and I needed a new tool in my toolbox to help me break through the inertia and get back on track with my biggest goals. So, I had this idea. It was a little out there, a bit strange, but my curiosity got the best of me. What if I let something else take the driver's seat for a week? Not a person, but a program, an AI coach. The thought was both exciting and a little scary. Could a machine, a bunch of code and algorithms, actually understand my struggles? Could it give me the kind of personalized, tough love advice that a real coach would? I was skeptical, for sure, but I was also desperate for a pattern interrupt. I decided to dive in headfirst and just see what would happen. I was ready to surrender control and let this artificial intelligence guide my days for a full 7 days. The goal was simple. I wanted to see if this AI could genuinely help me be more productive, more focused, and more motivated. I wasn't just looking for a glorified to-do list app. I wanted a partner, something that would challenge me when I was making excuses and cheer me on when I was crushing it. I wanted to know if technology had finally reached a point where it could be a true force for positive change in our daily lives. I downloaded the app, set up my profile, and told it my biggest dreams and my biggest roadblocks. The experiment was officially on, and I had no idea what to expect from this digital mentor. Honestly, a big part of me was just tired of my own excuses. You know the ones, I'm too tired, I'll do it tomorrow, I don't have enough time. I was sick of hearing them in my own head. I thought maybe an objective, non-emotional voice could cut through all that noise. An AI doesn't care about my feelings or my excuses, it only cares about the data and the goals I set. It would be a mirror, reflecting my own commitments back at me without any sugarcoating. I was ready to face whatever that mirror showed me, good or bad. It was time to stop talking about making a change and actually take a big, weird, tech-driven step toward it. The first morning was interesting. My phone buzzed at 6 o'clock a.m. sharp. It wasn't my usual alarm. It was the AI coach, and its message was direct. Good morning, Mel. Your goal today is to write 1,000 words for your new book before 9 a.m. Your first step: get up, drink a glass of water, and do not check your email. You have 5 minutes to start. It was so specific. Usually I'd roll over and scroll through social media, but this direct command, this clear first step, made it feel different. I found myself just doing it, almost on autopilot. I got up, drank the water, and sat down at my desk feeling a strange sense of accountability to my phone. Each day followed a similar pattern. The AI, which I nicknamed Coach, would break down my big goals into tiny, manageable chunks. It wasn't just about work, it scheduled a 20-minute walk for me at lunchtime, reminding me that a rested mind is a productive mind. When I logged a task as complete, it would send a little celebratory message like, "Fantastic work. Mel, you're building momentum." It sounds silly, but those little digital pats on the back were surprisingly effective. It also monitored my calendar, and noticed I had a tough meeting scheduled. An hour before, it sent a tip. For your 3 p.m. meeting, remember to listen more than you speak. Ask clarifying questions. You've got this. The AI wasn't just a scheduler, it was a strategist. It analyzed my productivity patterns. On Wednesday it told me, your energy dips around 2 p.m. Let's schedule a 10-minute power nap or meditation then, instead of another coffee. I would never have thought to do that myself. I would have just pushed through, feeling sluggish and unfocused. Following its advice, I did a short meditation, and my afternoon was completely different. I felt refreshed and clear-headed. It was like having a personal assistant who knew my own energy levels better than I did, constantly adjusting my schedule for peak performance throughout the entire day. Of course, I didn't always want to listen. On Friday afternoon, I was tired. The AI prompted me to spend an hour outlining my next speech. I wanted to quit early and watch a movie. I even typed into the chat, "I'm too tired." The AI's response was firm but not mean. Fatigue is temporary, but the feeling of accomplishment lasts. Try the 5-minute rule. Work on the outline for just 5 minutes. If you still want to stop, you can. It was a classic coaching technique, and coming from a machine, it felt impossible to argue with. So, I did the 5 minutes, which of course turned into a full hour of incredibly productive work. Let's talk about how this all felt. In the beginning it was weird. I felt a loss of spontaneity. My whole day was planned, from my morning routine to my evening wind down. There was no room for random whims. If I suddenly wanted to call a friend or go for a coffee, I felt a twinge of guilt, like I was cheating on my AI coach. It was a strange feeling, being held accountable by a non-human entity. It couldn't get mad at me, but the structure it created was so clear that deviating from it felt like I was letting myself down, and the app would know. This rigidity was definitely a downside for the free-spirited part of my personality. However, the upside was a massive reduction in decision fatigue. Do you know how much mental energy we waste just deciding what to do next? Should I answer these emails now or work on that report? Should I go to the gym or just stay home? The AI eliminated all of that. It told me what the next most important task was, and my job was simply to execute it. This freed up so much mental space. I wasn't procrastinating because I wasn't debating, I was just doing. My productivity soared. I got more done in that 1 week than I had in the previous month, and it felt almost effortless because the path was laid out for me. There were some funny moments too. The AI didn't quite understand human context sometimes. On Tuesday, it scheduled a 30-minute deep work block right when I was supposed to be driving my daughter to her soccer practice. I had to manually override it, and it sent me a message saying, "Sticking to the plan is key to success. Let's try to get back on track." I had to laugh. It was like a robot scolding me for being a parent. It highlighted a key limitation: the AI only knows what you tell it. It can't see the messy, unpredictable, and beautiful reality of a human life that happens outside the app's input fields. The most powerful feeling, though, was momentum. Every time I checked off a task, no matter how small, the AI registered it. My progress bar would inch forward. I could see visual proof of my accomplishments for the day and the week. This created a positive feedback loop. The more I did, the more I wanted to do. The feeling of being stuck that I had at the beginning of the week completely vanished. It was replaced by a feeling of control and forward motion. The AI was like a drumbeat, setting a steady, consistent pace that kept me moving forward, one small, planned step at a time. The feeling of progress was incredibly motivating. So, after a full week of living by the AI's rules, what's the final verdict? The results were undeniable. My productivity went through the roof. I finished a huge chunk of my book, I was more present in my meetings, and I even felt physically better because the AI forced me to take breaks and move my body. The external accountability was a game changer. It cut through my excuses and forced me to confront my own resistance. For someone who struggles with procrastination or getting started, an AI coach can be an incredibly powerful tool to build momentum and prove to yourself that you can, in fact, get things done consistently and effectively. However, it's not a perfect solution. The lack of flexibility was a real issue. Life is messy, and a rigid schedule can sometimes feel more like a prison than a pathway to freedom. The AI's inability to understand nuance or unexpected life events is a major drawback. It can't offer true empathy. It can't give you a hug through the phone or have a real conversation about your fears. It provides data-driven solutions, but it lacks the human touch, the warmth and wisdom that comes from a real person who has lived and learned. It's a fantastic tool, but it is not a replacement for human connection. So, will I continue to use my AI coach? The answer is yes, but with a new approach. I won't let it run my entire life. That was a fascinating experiment, but it's not sustainable for me. Instead, I'll use it as a powerful assistant. I'll use it to plan my deep work blocks, to remind me to take breaks, and to help me break down big, intimidating projects into smaller, actionable steps. I will be the CEO of my life, and the AI will be my highly efficient, data-driven chief of staff. I will use its strengths to support my goals, but I will always be the one in the driver's seat. Ultimately, this experiment taught me something profound. The power isn't in the AI itself, the power is in the decision to act. The AI was simply the catalyst, the tool that helped me use my own 5-second rule more effectively. It provided the structure and the nudge, but I was the one who had to do the work. Whether you use an AI, a paper planner, or a sticky note on your mirror, the important thing is to have a system that pushes you to take action. The AI coach was a fantastic way to jumpstart that process, and for that, I am incredibly grateful. It's a tool, and like any tool, its effectiveness depends entirely on the person who wields it.